WWE 2K26 is coming in hot, and I just got the opportunity to sit down with Cornell Gunter, as well as the lead developer of Universe Mode, and we got to learn a lot of things in this interview, from Creation Suite, Ringside Pass, and everything you need to know about Universe Mode. If you're rocking with content like this, make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let's dive right into the interview. What's going on, guys? I am here with Cornell and Cristo, designer of Universe Mode, and Cornell is kind of all over the place for WWE 2K26. He's a master of all trades. How's it going, guys? Thanks for coming on the show.
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, man. We're doing good. Home stretch, man. Home stretch. We're very excited.
Game's coming out pretty soon, man. I think everybody's excited. This is, I know I could speak for myself. This is the most excited that I have been for a release in a very long time. So looking forward to this, man. I want to start this out with Cristo, man, because there's some new features coming for Universe Mode. Universe Mode is fan favorite all around. And there's still a lot of questions. Obviously, we know the draft and all this other stuff is coming, but Creation Wizard is in this year. And we don't know what it is or how it works. Do you care on explaining that for us a little bit?
Yeah, so the Universe Wizard, as we're calling it, is a sort of way to streamline the calendar setup of your universe when you start a fresh universe. So when you jump in and when you choose, your sub mode, your classic, or your superstar mode, you'll be asked if you want to go through the Universe Wizard. It's totally optional. And from there, you can enable or disable your defaults, your Raw, SmackDown, NXT major shows, and any of the PLEs that you want in there. You can import in your custom shows. You can customize the superstars of the shows like as you normally would from that station or from that starting point. Set all up the PLEs, so you can get all that done before your universe actually begins, and it'll be ready to run from the get-go, as opposed to like having to interrupt a Raw that's already in progress to start customizing some of the stuff, or ripping out some of the shows, however you want to set that up.
Awesome, man. That sounds like a time saver. There's so many times that I'm going into Universe Mode and recreating everything. So this sounds like it would be a lot of help, man. Cornell, we know that we got a new hair dye tool coming in. We also know that we got better face and body morphing.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit more about morphing and what makes it stand out from previous games that had the morphing?
I think this year players will just see the variations, right? And like being able to go as crazy and as far as you want. I think that's like the thing that our players will notice right off the bat. And social and marketing put out like a teaser photo today of like the super duper skinny legs and like the heavy top. Like I've been saying swordfish, but like you can do those kind of things and you can really have a good time with it. So I think that is something that they'll see, which kind of differentiate from what they had before. And again, there's also like a randomize button that you can hit and you will get a nice gift in return. It's just always fun. I would just say that it's always fun. The kind of things that our game comes up with and the body portions that you end up seeing, you're like, wait, what? it's insane. But again, it's always a fun time.
Awesome, man. Do you want to talk about that hair dye tool a little bit more? Because I know we've seen a little picture today. I don't know, like by the time this releases, if more is coming out, but I want to hear more about this hair dye tool, man.
So the two-tone hair picker is one of the coolest things that we have been fortunate enough to add this year. Being able to customize hair and being able to, you can adjust the blending of how you want to use in terms of a transition from two colors. So if you want to go red and blue, you can make it more red, more blue, and meet in the middle. You can have a nice little pattern where if you want it more red on one side and blue on the other side, you can do that. You can also identify how sharp you want the blend to be. So for instance, when Naomi when her hair used to have like the split of the different colors in the middle and all those kind of things, you can do those kind of things. So, there's a lot of things that we can do. And it also like so many hairstyles are supported by it. Men and women, so that's also like another cool thing. So in my opinion, it really does elevate the quality and just how much goes into hairstyles and how much goes into the hair, which we know is a very, very key part for the creation community. But being able to fully put as many colors that you want, we have sample colors that you want, but you also have the wheel where you can go ahead and like really try to make your own sweet spot. Man, it's definitely fun. And one of the cool things, just like for the men and for whoever wants to apply facial hair, that it's also there too, right? So it's not just for hairstyles on facial hair as well. So we definitely we have fun seeing this going. We're very, very excited. And I said this when I was talking to Polygon. No, it wasn't Polygon. Who was this? I think I was talking to Brian. We first released the two-tone hair teaser. I was like, people have no idea what they're getting. A lot of people was like, "Oh, this is going to be no. You have no idea what you're getting." And then I think when the photo came out, now they're getting a sense. But again, I think when people really get to experience it, it's going to be something that again they didn't know that they wanted.
Yeah, man, I think the consensus is all around that this is going to make things a lot more easy for people to create and get creative. So I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for new options in the creation standpoints. So, and I think the community is really lucky to have you kind of dipping into that too, because you see that feedback all throughout X, and the creation people are really leaning on you, man. So that's awesome to have you there in that spot.
I mean, it's important, I've been in the industry for 10 years, and I'm fortunate enough that, I get to work with folks like Cristo and Al and everybody like that, because I get to be around people who love what I love the same way that I do. And coming over from marketing and being able to get back into the development side of things have been so fun for me. Because of that, I get to be as close to the game as anybody as physically possible, but then I also don't have to relinquish none of my ties to the community, which is something that I love. Like Lionel and John Rivera and Colin and Arthur, like these guys are coming in saying, no, continue to be you, continue to be openly and communicate with the community. And marketing has definitely allowed that same lifeline. So it's important to me that we keep our community informed, just like it is for everybody else. Again, we all it's not just me though. I think that's the thing. I'm just one everybody can get to and talk to.
Right.
But everybody's looking. Everybody's looking at feedback. So again, we want feedback. We encourage it. And yeah, again, it's a blessing for me to even be able to have that the tie or the connection to have with the community, even though sometimes they get mad at me, but it's all love.
I definitely see a lot more developers looking at the comments, and we've seen that with Brian Williams this week, kind of doing damage control with the whole Maurice thing. You know what I mean? You guys letting everybody know that there is another attire for Maurice coming into WWE 2K26. So that was exciting to hear as well. Cristo, I think something that a lot of the creators, I can speak for myself, I can speak for people like Just Brian, Kenny Bomb, everybody that made predictions for universe mode coming in, I think everybody kind of stood on the same thing. I think we get different promo options this year. What are we looking at when it comes to the new promo options coming into the game?
So I think a lot of you guys are correct that yes, we do have some new promo options. For self promo, we have options for superstars to make a face or heel turn right on the spot. Some new animations to accompany that. They can change divisions on their show if they want to, or you can change shows completely. So this is really the first time we're kind of dipping our toes into sort of an organic shift in how some of the landscape of the universe looks in terms of the superstar alignments with the divisions and the shows. So this gives a way for that to happen, either player driven controls or by the AI choices. For callouts and interrupts, we make it so that the superstar who is issuing a challenge to the other superstar to select the match type that they're challenging them to. So you'll be able to set that up. Of course, the other superstar has the option, the usual options of denying that or accepting that, or say, no, let's just have a match right now. It won't be the chosen one. Obviously, if you getting challenged to a Hell in a Cell match and you don't have that thing above the ring on the spot, you can't have that Hell in a Cell match right at the moment. But if that's the superstar being challenged is a champion, the other one can also challenge them to a title match as well, which can be on the spot. And the champion has, of course, the same options of, sure, let's do it, or let's do it next week, or we'll have the match, but we'll do it on my terms at next PLE sort of deal that you see a lot on TV. So those are the ones coming in there for support for our existing promos. We also have some new animations kind of going along with that. We something we really want to do for 2K25 that we weren't able to really get. And we heard the feedback was that players wanted to see the championships there. So we do have some animations supporting that, with the champs coming in, they got the belt over the shoulder, the microphone on the other hand.
Great news.
So you'll see some of that in there too. It won't be champ versus champ. We haven't quite figured how we're going to handle that elegantly yet, but if one of them's a champion, you'll see the championship for those promos.
Oh, that's great news. Is there any backstage elements for the promos this year? Or is it still just all out in the arena, in the ring? And
it's all out in the arena and the ringside. We do have a new promo type accompanying for this year is the post-match interview, which is
awesome.
Trigger like a rivalry action. So again, there's the intent of one superstar wanting this post-match interview, right? If they win, they can, that's their moment to say like, hey, I won this match. I deserve to be number one contender, or I deserve a shot at the title, sort of thing, which then can prompt the person that they're addressing in either of those spots to come out from the backstage down the ramp to face them, and go into this sort of stare-off situation where, they could set up a future match with a handshake or a stare down or just start a brawl, however you want to kick off the animosity between that future matchup. And on the flipping it around too, if they lost the match, their opponent gets the interview that they will then interrupt from ringside, which get the same situation. So we have some fun post-match drama and that sort of element. With a lot of the camera time that I think we were starting to see on TV, like we really want to sort of create that fun moment.
That's awesome, man. There's a lot of wish list videos out there that I'm pretty sure you guys just nailed a lot with just the promo actions alone. So this is great news. I'm looking forward to trying that out. Cornell,
cooking over there, Cristo. God, man.
Yeah,
man, God, Lee.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be excited about those promos, man. That is great news, especially with the championships being involved with on screen and everything. So yeah, that's gonna be really nice. Created Arena, created championship. What's new in that area, Cornell?
So Created Arena this year, we have the LED barricade support, which was like one of the most requested things. And also in Created Arena, we added more options and more variety to customizing announce tables and ring aprons and ring mats, even the barricades themselves. For Created Championship, we expanded like the available championship parts that players are able to choose from, and we also like refreshed it as they're coming in. So like it'll look and feel different. We're looking for a way more smoother building experience than what our players are used to. And I think the biggest thing, and it's might not be the most attractive thing people to hear say, but like, we did a lot of work this year just to be able to set ourselves up for the future, and be able to look at ways that we can grow into the future. Because like one of the things, work with somebody as good as Cristo, we see like Universe, what they've done. They have been able to reshape that entire mode and be able to build out for the future. And that's something that we look at and we admire. So, we want to be able to, set ourselves up for the future, for future possibilities of what we can do.
Okay. How about props or any assets like that, like any in-game assets? I know that there are a lot of people that were talking about that in Korean Arena and not having enough assets or new props. Is any of that stuff coming for 26?
So I got to keep a couple things close to chest. I cannot let certain things go at the moment.
No, you're good, man.
But
surprises are good.
Yeah.
Surprises are good. I'm on board with that, man. Thanks for answering what you did.
Yeah, of course. I think that's the thing too that makes it hard for us. And Cristo can speak. He can speak for himself. Probably agrees. Like it's hard for us not to say everything up front,
right?
Because we also understand that we work with amazing partners at WWE and also at 2K with our marketing team, and it's like we can't step in front of anything before they fully come out and announce it, right? So we try not to. But the biggest thing is like being streamlined and being aligned with your teammates. So that's important to us. That's all.
Copy that. Cristo, at Creator Fest last year, we were talking about better ways to cash in the money in the bank. We were talking about the PLEs and involving the cash-ins or rival reactions on PLEs. You weren't able to add it in then, but then we got an update that allowed us to add the rival reactions to PLEs. This year, we have a better way to cash in. Are you able to explain how this is going to work?
Yeah, and before I start, I just want to say like the feedback that we got from Creator Fest and people online that you guys wanted better ways to cash in, made it really loud and clear. Like, okay, we really need to look at that. So looking into it, our answer was that we added a new prompt that you can activate a button combination. I'm forgetting off the top of my head. I think it's like RBY. While you're spectating a match or while you're kind of in a title match. Doesn't have to be PLE, doesn't have to be kicked off by a rivalry action. Just as long as you're in that title match, it's one-on-one, you'll have that prompt show up. You hit the button combination, and then when the conditions are met and someone's knocked down or brought to yellow health or injured a little bit, the person cashing in runs out with the briefcase, and there it is. So you don't have to pause the game, jump into a menu to trigger the cash in anymore. You don't have to pre-plan it as a sort of premeditated thing through a rivalry action. It's just if you're in that match, you see that pop up, you hit those buttons, the cash is going to happen on the spot.
That's so much better, man. And we used to have something similar to that back. I can't even remember how long ago it was, but we used to have where we can just press a button and cash in at any moment. So I'm so glad that you guys brought that back in probably a better way, which you guys tend to do each and every time that you bring back a feature. So I think that's going to make a lot of people happy. And I know that the cash in was something that was heavily put down as some good feedback. So last year, creators faced a lot of issues with Create a Superstar, face mapping, logo mapping. Can you speak on any of these improvements, Cornell?
Well, I'll say, especially for like face morphing, we improved it, especially like mirroring, in like the default face. We definitely did a lot of maintenance and did a lot of cleanup to make the user experience meet the expectations that they want in terms of just like response and a lot of those things along those lines. So I'm very happy for players to jump in day one and experience Create a Superstar. We also did, increase the Create a Superstar slots to 200. The logo image count now is to 2,000. So we try. We just like everybody here, but we try very, very hard to do the things and make the community feedback and kind of turn those into actions. And some things are quicker than others, of course.
Right.
But it's like no sort of feedback and no sort of sentiment falls on dead ears.
Right on, man. Listen, I don't got no dog in this fight. I'm not a game dev, so I don't know how it works. But I know that I know that every single time that I've asked this, I think it's 3 years in a row, we've asked about that logo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Have you increased the logo limit? Have you increased the cost superstar limit?
Yep.
And so to hear that it finally made it this year makes me really, really happy. And I'm sure it does
for
a lot of others, man. So,
which is very important to us. That 180 of trust and realizing and hearing and understanding and feeling that we hear you guys and we're trying it. We made it work. So
sure,
we were just as happy.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yo, Cristo, so we got a watch show mode this year for Universe. Can you explain how different this would be than how we were able to accomplish this before? Because we were able to sort of watch shows. You can just spectate it, but I think that you just have to keep clicking next match and stuff like that. How much different is it than how we experienced this in the past?
So for watch shows is a new option that you can access when you're on the Universe main menu and you're hovering over that panel of like, tonight's show and you can access it in tonight's show or when you're on the match card for the show itself. You just hit the start button and the game will jump straight into the opening movie of the show. It'll go, through the presentation. We got the locator plates popping up once again. So those are returning. It's like, here's your location of where the Tonight Show is. And it'll go straight to the entrances. It'll go through the match. Once the match finishes, we do a quick transition, show transition, and we're straight on to the next match. We're not jumping out of the matches back to the match card. We're not going to another load screen where we can. We might have to in some cases if the environments change between matches. It's almost seamlessly going from match to match to match to match. And It's just all playing sequentially. You don't have to control anything to say like, hey, jump to the next match or anything like that. It just does it.
Awesome.
And at any point, like if you're watching the entrances for a match, you can press the start button. You can still skip entrances if you want to, but there's also an option to take over the matches. Like, I want to play this match. This looks fun. Let me jump in. Once you press that, and you get your command prompt to assign your controller as soon as the match starts. So you'd be able to play that out, and it'll just go straight back into watch show after that, spectating the next match.
I assume that's how it was going to work. I didn't want to, I wanted to get the exact answer going into that, but that's great that you don't have to hit a prompt or anything to go into the next match. I assume that that's where the direction you guys were going to take that. So that sounds like a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of people in the community that play this game and just watch AI versus AI matches, which is a heavy thing in the community. I didn't realize that until a couple of years ago, but it's there. And so I think that this will be a good asset for them.
I agree. Honestly, I realized that a lot of players, do the AI versus AI. When I started really catching on to the EFED type situation, I'm always on Twitch. Like people will tweet me their shows. I just randomly jump in the comments. I'll put it up on one of my TVs, and I'm grabbing a chocolate milk, and I'm just drinking and watching it. And I think it's the coolest thing, man. It's like seeing people be able to make their own ideas and their own and how they envision wrestling come to life within our game, using creative superstars and using the tools and what we have in universe. It's like it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Some take it to the next level too, man. I've seen some with like just phenomenal commentary added on.
Yes,
it's great, dude.
Bro, the commentary they do pre-match, post-match promos. They do the whole shebang. They have the whole match card, and it's like it's in my opinion that's like the coolest thing. We see people love something so much, and they put that level of detail and that level of work into it, and it comes out, and then you see the community embrace it. It's like, man, this is cool. Like this is what gaming is. It's fun. This 3-letter word. It's fun, which is good.
Absolutely, man. Can you speak on Ringside Pass a little bit more? I know players are a little bit concerned that this is going to be the grind of a lifetime. Is it easier to earn RXP compared to earning like VC in the island when you would only get like 120 VC per match? How does the RXP work? If you can speak on it, I don't need to know about the content or anything like that, but I think the grind is what people want to know about.
So we've been immediately like intentionally looking at all that feedback specifically for that. And I did say it's a Polygon, which is still true to this day because we still are. I'm not lying. We're still tuning it. Like we're still internally playing it, and we're still doing it and communicating amongst each other with different pods. So we're still tuning it. How can I put this? Like it's like we're trying to figure out how to find a good medium, but we don't know it yet clearly because our players are not in there yet. So right now we are our hardest critic, and we are putting each other to the fire of saying this feels like this or this feels like that. So transparently, truthfully, like honestly, like we are literally still tuning it and going back and forth. We will probably go back and forth until they tell us that we have a deadline, we cannot do nothing else. We need to let it go. But until then, we'll still be going back and forth and tuning it. I can tell you that for a fact.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for answering it like that.
Yeah, not a problem. I think the bigger thing for folks and our players to know what the Ringside Pass is, again, we're just trying to give content. We're really trying to give people content.
Right.
120 total rewards per season, which is not something that we've ever done before. And personas are always like the coolest thing that's always talked about post-launch. We gave, we want to give people another avenue to earn those and obtain those. So again, like our goal is to give you as much content as possible per season, and just try to do that the best way that we can, to be honest with you. But feedback, please, feedback. Like, share
it seems like you guys have a season drop in almost every month, right? I think there's a couple in there that skip a month, but for the most part, it's every month a new season drops. I guess I could put it this way. Do you think people will have enough time to grind out an entire season before the next season drops?
So that's okay. So here's the thing about that. For us, we are trying to look at it to where our game can always be on for our players, to where they always feel like they have content coming. So that's like our thinking right behind that. The second part is like, no matter if you play all day or you play once in a while, no matter what, there will not be any sort of, like, the seasons don't go away. So like you never have to feel pressure. Like you can always go at your pace and your speed, which is big to us. Because for me, I'm an online heavy, just like you can relate, right? So it's like I love to competitively play, get on. I can crank through 300 online matches, no bull crap in 5 to 6 weeks, with no problem. But everybody's not on that same pace, and we want to be make sure we respect everybody's time. So that's why it's like, for me, it's like, nobody has to worry about, next season's coming. No. It's coming, and if you go at your pace, and it's totally fine. So you're not going to miss out on anything. Nothing's going to go away. Everything will be there.
Awesome, man. You spoke on personas as well. I just wanted to clarify this because I know that when you were on Brian's show too, people still had a few questions. Personas are now, this is another way to earn personas.
Yes.
It's not the only way, right? There's
No.
exclusive
Yes,
live action personas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what our goal here was to give our players in the community just another lane, right?
Right.
Previously it was My Rise, it was the island, it was My Faction as ways to go ahead and inherit stuff, or of course like showcase with as you go through and unlock superstars. But one of the biggest things was just like, okay, how can we join that? How can we let players who might bounce around all these modes and not focus hard on one to be able to obtain the same reward, right? So yeah, it's all different. So it will not be the same thing that you would get from somewhere else. It's very, very unique and exclusive to Ringside Pass, which My Faction has their own, same with My Rise, and etc.
One thing that I do really like about the idea of the Ringside Pass is that a lot of players have talked about this year, is that it gives them not everybody hops in the universe like I would, but this gives them a reason to now create their universe and grind out the pass by having fun with the game rather than just, you know what I mean, all objectives, all gas, no brakes, you know. So
yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, you know, for the Ringside Pass, like our biggest thing is to we don't want people to change how they play. We still want you to play the game, right? We just want to be able to give you more content along the way. You know, that's more so like how we look at it, and that's how we perceive it. It's like, no, we really just want to give our players the most content that they've ever gotten. You know, we look at 2K26 as an opportunity to take a really big step as a whole product in the clear future direction. So that's more so what it is. It's like, yeah, if you love to do something, please go do it. We just want to be able to give you more content along the way.
I love that. Cristo, let's talk about this draft, man. It's finally back. How was the process of getting this back in the game, and what makes this experience different than before?
Oh boy. The process, the idea on paper sounded like a really simple concept. You just trade superstars between brands and it works, right? And as we started digging into it, yeah, we kind of took that approach, and I think we covered a lot of bases, but then we started finding like, oh, there's an edge case here. Ooh, there's one here. And then just like, Wally's just kind of breaking the draft. We got to fix that. So we had to do a lot of very specific edge case fixing for that. But it's very, very different than how it's been in the past. We have your draft matches kind of triggering off the order of picks, and that sort of just being autonomous, you know, superstars showing up. I think the approach that we went with is kind of closer to what you see more on broadcasting now. With we have, well, I'll start with how the draft is kind of set up in Universe. It's its own sort of event that you can set up. We can set a maximum of 8 drafts within a Universe save. They're a week-long event. You choose 2 participating shows. They'll be able to draft from each other's rosters. You can also do an optional supplement show, like NXT as an example. You have superstars be pulled out of NXT into either of the drafting shows. The drafts take place over a number of rounds where each show will do their pick. And you can customize like how many rounds you have in a draft, how many picks are done in a draft. And we kind of wanted to give players some freedom as well in terms of the rules. Typically, I think the last major draft on WWE television didn't allow champion trades. But we've seen that kind of happen in the past. We're like, let's just support both of that. So we have like a lot of modifiers for like, do you want champion trades? Do you want champion picks as your draft picks allowed? How many do you want? Do you want to be able to draft entire teams? Do you want to be able to split up teams? Do you want to be able to draft free agents? Do you want to draft legends? So we have a lot of rules in there to kind of customize how a draft runs and what you can do with those drafts. And when you're looking at the match cards for the week of that draft, you'll see draft rounds show up on the match cards. They'll be represented by the general managers that you can now assign to the shows. So we have Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis showing up on the match card. You jump into the draft round, you'll see a presentation, a cutscene of them kind of walking onto the stage, shaking hands, going to their podiums, and then like lining up for the draft. And then we show the draft menu with an awesome picture-in-picture of both of them, or just kind of like switching between the two, getting their their reactions and their expressions as these draft picks are announced that you're making on the screen, or that you're asking the CPU to do for you, however you want to control that.
That's awesome, man. Sounds like you guys are getting closer and closer to that TV representation that I talk so much about on my videos, and that makes me happy, man. I got a couple more questions for each of you, and then we can just wrap this up.
Cool.
Cornell, you announced on X that layers on Creative Superstar are now done differently.
Yes.
It's a huge upgrade from previous games. Care to go into detail on this a little bit more?
Yes. So, marketing in our amazing marketing and social team put out, a nice teaser photo in the Discord server, and it was about body morphing. And what a couple of the community members noticed was like the image points. I'm gonna talk about the layer cost per section, and then some of them got concerned because they thought certain things were removed. But the biggest thing that we want them to understand is that no, nothing has removed. We actually added to it. So this year for your body and head is 40. Layer points. Ring attire 1 and ring attire 2 has 60 layer points per. So, and then also your entrance attire 1 and 2 have 60 per. So instead of only having 60 total, now you have over 200 total for
this
one
is huge,
superstar.
dude.
Which is something that's big to us. And also it's something that we knew the community wouldn't expect. But we try to hit on a lot of what might seem like a little thing to somebody who does not create, but for our creation community, we know this is a big thing. And we try to hit on those as much as possible.
That's great news, man. Thank you guys so much for that, because I ran into a few issues. I don't create superstars too much. I'm more of the arenas and championships, but I know that was definitely a frustrating situation for a lot of people trying to add tattoos or create, new stars coming into WWE that you couldn't necessarily put into DLC in time. So tattoos and stuff was a struggle for a lot of people. So that adding all those layers, man, this is a big thing for the community for sure.
It's important to us to try to deliver and to try to I'm not gonna say the demands, but the requests, right? And the wants, right? And in some degree a need, right? So we try to hit those, and we're human, and maybe we don't land as perfectly as we might have hoped, and that's okay. That's why feedback and everything is important. But again, as you can see, the things that we're adding and doubling and all that stuff for Creative Superstar, like we're really trying to line ourselves for the future and for future possibilities. And I think we're off to a great start.
Yeah, phenomenal start, man. Cristo, last year when we were talking at Creator Fest, I told you, we heard all those different announcements for 25 that were going into the universe mode. But then when we all got to Creator Fest, we were surprised by how the calendar setup was and a few other details that you guys added in that wasn't promoted. Is there anything like that coming for WWE 2K26? What surprises can we expect? Are there number one contender matches, expansion to rivalries, anything like that?
I think a lot of the other surprises that you're going to see are kind of just put it around through a lot of the menus through the customization process. We have a lot more options to kind of fine tune how you want your universe matchmaking to work. For example, if you want to mess with those and experiment and see how those kind of land. Things from like how much value under the hood is, like, are we rating championship matches or sort of overall stats? Do those matter towards matchmaking? Very, very fine-tuned things that we don't normally expose or reveal, but like you'll be able to kind of tinker around with that, try to find something that you prefer. We have some power tools as well for creating, where we just a couple button presses, you can wipe out all of the default enemies and allies. You can remove all the managers. You can remove stats from championships and historical stats. Have a fresh start if you wanted to. So we've got a lot of options for
removing the stats is huge, because I've heard a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah, that was another request that I heard a lot of last year. So we've got that happening. You're an arena guy, so for Create Show, we've added some more options in there too. We have show themes coming back that you can assign those if you want.
Okay. Like show intros or just themes for it?
The themes themselves. So we have those playing, during between the matches for watch show, as well as like going into the match cards themselves. But we have also options to kind of control those either globally throughout that universe save or just on a per show basis. You can say, I don't want this show theme to trigger on this match card, but I do want to have it trigger, when I'm loading into the, the opening match for the card. So you can have some fine control over that. And something that people really wanted to do is kind of recreate the 2-night WrestleManias for those outdoor venues. So we do have a day and a night setting for arenas on a show for both day 1 and day 2. So when you're halfway through a show, it'll switch to the second one, and then you can have a completely different arena for day 2 of a PLE. So a lot of more expression options there for you guys to set up.
Those are nice details, man. Listen, guys, I'm excited for WWE 2K26. I hope everybody else is. Thank you guys so much for taking the time, coming on the show, explaining everything that you guys are cooking up this year for all the fans. I think this is going to be a great year for everybody.
Thank you, man. I mean, it's our honor and our privilege to, come on your platform and be able to talk and be able to talk about what we do, what we love, right? The fact that you care enough to, and our community cares enough to want to hear what we have to work on. It's like, it feels very rewarding for us. We've been locked in for a very, very long time. Yeah. So we just been, with each other, holding each other accountable. So it's always good when our community gets to step into the picture and be able to let us know how they feel about what we worked on. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
Can't wait to try out the game, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you in WWE 2K26. Peace.